Hi everyone, it's Elliot from TutorialEdge.net, and in this tutorial we're going to be looking at how you can utilize the protocol buffers data format within your Go-based applications. So we're going to start off by covering what the data format is and why it's an improvement over the more traditional data formats such as XML or even JSON. We're going to start off by creating a really simple example just to get our hands dirty and used to the data format. And then we're going to add a wee bit of complexity just to let us understand how this could be extended out into production-like environments. Okay, so let's dive in. What are protocol buffers? Well, protocol buffers are essentially a data format, much like XML or JSON, in the sense that they store structured data which can then be serialized or deserialized by a wide number of different programming languages. Now, the main advantage of this format is that it's a hell of a lot smaller when compared to the likes of XML or even JSON. And it was a format that was originally developed by Google, who are a fairly well-known company, and because of their size, every byte that they can save makes a massive difference. So let's jump back into our editor of choice, and as you can see here, I've got an XML representation of a person, and this person happens to be myself. So I'm storing my name, which is Elliot, and my age as 24. Now the size of this file is going to be 56 bytes in total. Now if we jump back into our person.json example, which is the exact same data stored in the exact same format, you'll see that the size of this file is 35 bytes. So there's a massive difference of 21 bytes for just this really simple example. Now, the aim of protocol buffers is to increase the number of bytes saved even further. Now, at smaller file sizes like this, you'll typically see a very minimal difference, but as you start to ramp up into the kilobytes, megabytes, and gigabytes, you'll start to see absolutely huge differences in the size of files. Now, if you're interested, there's a really good article on Auth0, which covers the differences between the JSON and the protobuf data format, and I'll leave a link to this in the description below. Okay, so let's jump back into our code editor and see how we can use this data format within our own Go-based programs. Now, in order to get started, we're going to need to download the appropriate packages, and we can do that by doing go get github.com/golang/protobuf. And once you've done that, you'll also need /proto as well. So run these two commands, so protobuf and proto, and you should be good to go. Now, once we've done this, we'll need to export the path to ensure that our proto-C binary is available from our terminal. Now, I've already done that. As you can see, my proto-C binary is available. So let's start off by creating our proto files. So person.proto is what we're going to call it. And we want to specify the syntax we want to use at the top. In this case, we're going to be using proto3. And we want to specify the package this will live in. So package main. Now, after this point, we want to specify our person message format. And this is going to contain two fields, the first of which is name, and the second of which is age, like so. We then want to call the proto-C binary and specify the goOut equals the current directory, and we want to pass in all of our proto files within this directory. This will go ahead and generate a .pb.go file, which will contain all of our types or structs and all of the accessor functions that we require. Now, if you're interested in exactly what code was generated, again, I'm going to refer you to the Google Developer Documentation Guide on Go Generated Code. This shows you everything from if you had a simple message declaration, what sort of code would be compiled or generated from that simple message declaration. So coming back into our editor, we now have everything in place to start working with this data format. So I'm going to go ahead and open up my main.go file, which contains just a really simple main method. And I'm going to start doing the following. So at the start, I'm going to define Elliot, and this will be person with a name of Elliot and an age of 24, much like our JSON and XML data that we saw before. Next, what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to marshal this data into the protocol buffer format. And to do that, we can do data or error equals proto.marshal and pass in our Elliot object. We can then capture the error if there is any. So if error equals nil, or does not equal nil, sorry, the log.fatal, and we'll say there's a marshalling error. And we'll also print out that error. Okay. So just to show what sort of format is generated or what sort of data is generated from this marshal, we'll do an fmt.println and data. Try run this by calling go run and main.go and person.pb.go. And this is printed out to the terminal our protocol buffer object, which is encoded in the wire format. Okay, so now that we've got this basic conversion or marshalling between an object into a protocol buffer object, let's go back the way and we'll unmarshal our protocol buffer object into a new object. So I'm going to call this new Elliot because I'm really unoriginal. And this is again going to be of type person. I'm going to say error equals proto.unmarshal, and we're going to pass in the data and the new Elliot variable like so. Again, we want to catch any errors, so if error does not equal nil, log.fatal, and we're going to say this is an unmarshalling error, Okay, and finally we want to do a wee bit of fmt.println, and I want to say new Elliot.getAge and new Elliot.getName like so. Now if we try and run this again, you'll see that everything works as intended. I'm able to unmarshal my data object into a new Elliot object, and I'm able to use the getAge and getName getters which were generated for us within the person.pb.go file. Perfect, so we've got up and running with a really simple protocol buffer example that goes from an object to a protocol buffer object and back again. But let's try and extend this object a wee bit further, and we're going to open up our person.proto file, and we're going to specify another message format or message structure. So message social followers, and I'm going to call int32 YouTube equals 1 and int32 Twitter equals 2 like so. Then I'm going to want to extend my person object and say social followers, lowercase social followers equals position 3 like so. As we made a change to the person.proto file, we'll again have to run this proto-c command. This has gone away and it's updated our person.pb.go file to include the social followers struct and the relationship between our person object and this social followers. So I can then come back into my main.go file and I can call social followers, and I'm going to make this equal to social followers and Twitter, and I say roughly 1400, and YouTube, I'm coming up to 2500, another big milestone. And just quickly, we need to add this little bit here. Perfect, so that works as intended. Now, we don't have to do anything when it comes to marshalling this or unmarshalling it again. We should now be able to access this like so. So new Elliot dot social followers dot get Twitter, and we'll do the same for YouTube as well. So get YouTube, and if we run our program again, you'll see that it's accurately printed out both my Twitter and my YouTube subscribers. So this hopefully gives you some idea as to how you can start to craft more complex message formats. So we could very quickly build this up into just a nested series of different fields. Now that's all we're going to be covering in this tutorial. It's just been a really quick and gentle introduction to the world of protocol buffers. Now if you want to get more data or more information on how you can use this within your own production systems, then I recommend checking out the Protocol Buffer Basics section on developers.google.com. I'm also going to be adding a series of different tutorials to my website, so stay tuned and follow me on Twitter at Elliot_F for more on that. Now, If you enjoyed the video, then please leave a like and subscribe to my channel for more programming content. Cheers!